So this is the vacuum pump that I went with. This one is from CVR, High Performance Racing Products. It's a pretty nice piece. It's all billet. You know, if I've never mentioned it before in any of the other videos, that I am a machinist by trade, so you know I can appreciate when something is made really well, and I'm kind of digging the way this thing is made. I bought everything kind of separate. You can get it with or without the bracket. Obviously, I did. The pulley, it was separate, but the nice thing about this pulley, it works on the Moroso one as well. That is a Moroso regulator. I would recommend that. You don't want to go straight. You need to kind of get a vacuum gauge, see what you're pulling, and have some sort of way to control it. That thing does run $70 to $90 depending on which one you get, but you need it, so you know you have to spend it. This thing, it did come with dash 12 fittings, in and out. The nice thing about this one, it does spin both directions, so you know if it's on the front of the motor like this, clockwise it pulls. If you want to spin it around, if you need the space in your engine compartment or wherever, how you mount it, it does go both directions, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if they all do that, but I know that this one does that, so that's good. I'm happy about that. Some of the other parts that I got were, you know, some dash 12 fittings or B on the other end. This T here, just again an Amazon item, nothing fancy. Doesn't have to do a whole lot. We're just pulling vacuum. But I got some other pieces. I got some lines to make, so I'll show you getting this thing together and the end product. I did get a vacuum canister that I'm going to end up modifying. It's a cheap one from Amazon. It seemed to be decently made, so you know, with some modifications, it worked for what I had to do. But this is it. You know, it's a pretty decent piece. I wouldn't shy away from getting it. It seems well made, so I'm going to give it a go. All right, what I got here is the breather tank for the vacuum pump. Nothing really fancy. Got it from Amazon. You can get it with just the tank and the filter, or you can get it with all the plumbing. I did do that. I wish I didn't, because there are dash 10s and the pump is dash 12s. So what I ended up doing was I cut off the dash 10 bungs, male bungs that were sitting on top there, and there was just enough material, if I can get in focus, just enough material to tap it with a pipe thread fitting. I think it was like might have been 1/2 inch. And then I bought an adapter, went from the pipe thread fitting to the dash 12, and pop that in there like that. Sorry for the one-handed stuff here, but basically like that. So everything stays dash 12, and then I obviously just plugged that. It does come with a petcock for the bottom. It's kind of crappy. It's a really cheesy one, so I ended up buying one from Home Depot, a couple of dollars, and an adapter, and that's it. Breather is decent, nothing fancy there, but you know, overall it looked nice. It's not expensive. Maybe it was $30, honestly. So, but it does what it's got to do. I think it'll be fine. It's got two double baffles in there, so I think it's going to work good. I'm going to make some lines here shortly. I'll get into that. I got some fittings here. I'll just bought an assortment of dash 12s, some elbows, some 45s, a couple straights. So you know, I'll see what I need, and I'll make those lines up, and it should be good to go. All right, what I got here is some PTFE line. This stuff's good for just about anything, any gas, any fluid, you name it. Most of the car has the regular rubber braided line, but what you need is it's a little different. You got a ferrule that goes between the braiding and the nylon tubing, which I'll show you here. You gotta slide this guy over the whole thing first, which is why this is taped up here, so I can get it over without the braid or the coating or the outside wrapping, you know, getting in the way. And then I'm just going to put it together with the end. And I got a little makeshift vise here to hold it all together during assembly. So let me get to it. Once you slide that guy over, and pick off my tape. And once I find the end, I take a screwdriver here, and I will just peel away, get started, peel away some of the braiding around that line. Just walk it around. I already cleaned out the burrs on the inside just from cutting it. Now I just cut it with a regular cutoff wheel on an angle grinder. Just made it nice and straight. So now I'm just gonna, you know, slide this guy a little bit more, make sure I get a nice clean path to get this ferrule in between the two. It goes pretty good. Use a little rubber mallet to help send it home. It's important that you get the line cut flush or pretty square, so that way when you bang the ferrule on, it goes right butts up inside to the nylon, so it doesn't move around on you. And this guy goes in here, pretty straightforward. You could use a little oil here, just to, you know, get a little oil on the threads. You know, it is aluminum, so it will gall, or could gall, if you don't have any lubricant on it. So, you know, get this guy together in here. Sometimes they just got to work it a little bit, but it goes. There you go, like that. And my little makeshift vise here, just so put a little cardboard in there. They have obviously rubber vise jaws that you could put in there. I don't have a set of those. But this works fine. Just something to hold it. You don't want to mark up the aluminum fittings, because, you know, they're nice looking, and, you know, they cost a bit of money. So let's not mess them up, right? So I'm gonna start working this by hand, get it pretty close as far as I can by hand. And I got aluminum Allen wrench so it doesn't screw anything up. Just gonna keep a little forward pressure on it and just tighten it up. And we go almost right to the end of the fitting where the two parts butt up. I leave about a 1/16 of an inch gap or so. You could do it this way too. This might be easier. Keeps the line from twisting. Yeah. And that's about it. You know. Next I'll figure out my lengths, and I'll cut it and make two hoses. And once I figure out my lengths, I'll have two lines. One will be an inlet, or an inlet line from the valve cover to the vacuum pump, and then one will be an output line to the breather tank. So let me get my measurements and make up the two lines, and then we'll get over to the car. All right, before I head over to the car, I think I'm gonna throw this pulley on real quick. Use a little bit of Loctite on them, just make sure they don't back out on me. Not to kill them, but pretty tight. And that is it. Nice. All right, get on over to the car. All right, so I got the lines made. You saw how I did the one end. Really isn't too hard at all. So here's the elbow you put on. This is straight. Another one. And so got that all figured out. And all the other parts I showed you. Dash 12 union there, the regulator, and the T. I went ahead and drilled a couple holes there where I think it's going to go. I had to hold it up there and mock it up. I couldn't do both, hold the camera and the pump, but so I think that's the good spot. I got my crank mandrel that's on there. Let me get that in focus a bit. Yeah, so kind of got that figured out with the spacers and everything. So, and I don't know, I went with a belt that looked like it would be long enough. I don't know, maybe a total of 30 inches total. I don't know, that's the number I'm using for what it's worth. I went with one of these notched belts, since it's such a short distance and a tight radius around the crank pulley. A regular belt wouldn't flex like this, so kind of important to get one that does that can go around a tight radius. All right, I'm gonna get you up on the stand here, and we'll get this pumping. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Everything lined up real nice where I popped those holes in to the motor plate. Sitting pretty square, pretty vertical. The ports up and down. Had to just loosen up the bracket a little bit there and shift the pump a little bit, but everything lined up real nice. The two pulleys in line with the together, so it looks good. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna throw some of the lines on here, and then we'll work on the breather canister. All right, so what I did was I basically figured out that I knew I was going to be putting this breather canister down here on the inner fender. So I just, leveled it off. I traced the holes where I wanted them. Again, not something that's really highly technical, but, marked it, drilled them, and put my holes in there. And I just got a couple quarter 20 bolts with some lock washers. So I'm just going to throw that in here and be ready to plumb the rest of it. All right, that's kind of it right there. So I've got the other hose here. That's the outlet from the pump. So I have that just going up and over the regulator here and right to the canister. So kind of got a little shaped up here so it fit right into place. Go. This guy, I'm not going to try to kill it. It's already going to turn the fitting. That's going into the housing there, so that's plenty tight enough. And that's pretty much it. All assembled. Let me get you off the stand for a second. So that's basically it. Nothing fancy. Like I said, Amazon breather canister. comes all together. You can get it with the fittings if you want, but if you get any of the reputable pumps, Moroso, Aerospace, they are all -12. This CVR one, again, -12, pretty straightforward design, nothing fancy. So what I did is I have a fitting here. It just goes into one valve cover, like that. And then the other valve cover, I took the breather out that I had and I capped it like that, so it's sealed off. That's the idea. You know, you want the motor sealed off, so it pulls a little vacuum. You could look it up. What they pretty much recommend is 12, 14. I guess it'd be, I don't know if you want to call it pounds or PSI of vacuum. But that's pretty much it. I do have a vacuum gauge, and I will check it. I have a good idea where it is at the moment. There are some other issues here. I mean, I use it strictly for racing when I'm at the track. They say if you use it on the street, it could cause some problems if connecting rods aren't forced oiled with like forced oiled wrist pins. Then the splash that's going around inside the crankcase would be diminished by the vacuum pull, and therefore street driving would be detrimental to wrist pins. So I just keep it for drag racing, and then I take the belt off when I'm going to street drive the car. But that's its basic setup. All right, that was about 14 inches of vacuum, the best I could tell on the gauge as it's jumping around. I mean, it's not the best setup that I had, but it's relatively accurate. It's like 13 to 14 on the vacuum side of the gauge. So I'm gonna go with that. That's pretty good. I mean, the regulator, I kind of ballparked it where I set it. So I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to hurt anything in the motor. I'm still working on that as far as like what is too much. Some say 20 psi, or 20 pounds of vacuum. They recommend 12 to 14. So it looked like it was 13 and a half, 14. So I'm going to go with that. That's about where I'm going to set it and leave it. And I'll let you know how it turns out, but it should be fine. Hey everybody, I just wanted to close out the vacuum pump video real quick. The CVR vacuum pump seems to be pretty good. I like it a lot. Had no issues whatsoever. Belt stayed on. Thing did what it was supposed to do. So good product as far as I can tell. As far as performance, I couldn't tell you what it made for horsepower or what I gained for horsepower, but I can say that last year without the pump, the car ran on the average of a 1016, and this year I just ran between 1008 and 1006. So there definitely was an improvement. So good product overall, really happy about it, and thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and catch you on the next video. Thanks.